Hi, I'm Matt, and this is my CCM Ultra Tacks initial impressions for the protective line. Special thank you to Mod Squad Hockey, JR, and CCM for giving me the opportunity to try this gear and to write my opinions about them. So I got the elbow pads in size large. Those will be going against medium EQ50 elbow pads. I got the chest protector in size large as well, which will be going against Warrior Project shoulder pads in XL. And finally, I got the Tacks Shin Pads in size 17, which will be going against size 16 EQ50 shin pads. So basically I gave you what I'll be putting these up against just to give other people a reference, and there's certain things I was missing out on in my equipment, which is why I felt I was always looking out for new ones. Like my shin pads and elbow pads are too small, but my chest protector never really fit me right. And so hopefully these will fit those gaps and fix all my issues. As for first impressions, the first thing I tried on was the elbow pads, as I play a shot blocking defensive style because I'm a goalie. I was a goalie, and it's just something that I'm used to. Putting these on was quite a good surprise actually, because I only got to try on an XL of these in store and they were huge. This wrap, in order to get it tight, well, I'd have to pull it to about here, and that you can't do that. So putting on a large was really nice because it actually fits very snug, especially for a large, size large elbow pad. In the past, I had size large and they just slid right off my wrist. So that's why I went to the medium in the EQ50, which offered less protection lengthwise and was actually small in that sense, but the straps fit better, and even then I had issues with it sliding down. So far, this has been better than the EQ50 in terms of staying on my wrists, on my hands, my elbows, but we'll see how that lasts later on. Just some things to talk about it. It has this pretty nice and thick, hard foams here. I was honestly hoping there would be more D30 stuff, which is right in on the elbow. That little orange piece in there, all the back part of the elbow is all the D30 foam, sorry about that. But this is a hard foam and it's super protected. It's some preliminary test just by smashing my hand against it. Can't feel anything on my wrist, so I'm really looking forward to that. And these come down a lot farther in my glove cuffs than the EQ50 does, so I don't really have to worry about lower slash protection as much. On this outer side for the elbows is again this hard foam right here, and it has this pretty interesting like triangle design pattern, which is on the chest as well and on the shin pads, and they're kind of soft to push in, but I feel it does a pretty good job of protection, and it is a very more high-end feel to the glove. The strap on the inside feels good so far, and your elbow placement feels good. Though there is some issues where I'm not totally thrilled about this glove. First thing, and I'm sure it's just a manufacturing, just a glitch. They missed a seam right along this edge right here, and I'll show it in pictures as well below. And that you can see the plastic and the foams underneath, because again, this piece just didn't get sewed down. I'm sure it won't be an issue. I could fix it if I really want to, but again, I don't actually think that will play a part at all. The other thing I'm not hugely fond of is the graphics on the side are kind of on the lower end looking. The rubber here, or the foams here, look really good. The logo looks great and everything. There is some gap here so you can push it in, but that's nothing big. But the graphics on the side look pretty cheap, I must say. I have a pair of 10Ks before, and I think these look much better with actual, like, just nicer materials going on here. And I'll take a photo side by side so it hopefully looks better. And I have my EQ50s, which again, I feel just has nicer materials on the backside and just looks more higher end. That isn't to say these are a bad glove or anything. I'm just giving my initial impressions and how I think it looks. I just think that could have been done better. The shin pads look great, and I wish it kind of passed over to the elbow pads. So actually one really quick thing, that the way that this straps up is actually different than the previous. We have a 10K here, and this piece strap goes through this loop right here. As you can see, it comes across. When the old 10K actually didn't do that at all, just open straight up and you wrap it around. So that's something that is different, and you've had an older pair of Reebok gloves, which the Tacks are the more protective line, then that's something to look out for. I actually do like how the Tacks is in that sense. Now, the shoulder pads I think are really interesting because of some of the adjustability features in them, which I'm a big fan of. They have the removable front and back lower flaps, belly flap, and I guess the back, like lower back protection. The strapping is pretty nice. This is a large, and I usually actually need it to about here. Usually I always have to pull the straps on my chest protectors as tight as they go. Even on previous mediums I've had, I always have to basically overlap my chest straps. With this, I like how it has the Velcro all the way across, so you can attach it all the way across. Because even though I don't think I'll ever need these, I like having that ability there. The Warriors just had one patch, and it was kind of a pain because it never really fit snugly enough. Going on to the chest plate, this is a very hard foam that showed up on the elbow pads as well. Again, I wish this was a D3O, but I saw the goalie chest pad, and I was kind of hoping it would progress over here because the goalie one does. But this is a very hard foam that almost feels plastic. And that will do a good job protecting. We'll see how that turns out against pucks. Again, I shot block. Again, this whole front face is all made up of that triangle protective materials. And again, with preliminary testing of just like pounding things with my fist, it seems pretty good. It doesn't seem super thick. It's actually really thin compared to the older pads I've had, and it feels much lighter than the older pads I had. So we'll see how that turns out. Now it has this attachment here, which is on both sides, which is supposed to keep the chest protection and neck part down while you raise your shoulders up, so it doesn't interfere with your neck and bring your chest up. I haven't done any tests on that yet. That will be in further review, as I haven't really had a good chance to test these on ice yet, so I'll put that out later on. To see how big these look while wearing them under a jersey, I'll put pictures, and they'll be in the Mod Squad review for it, so check that out in the description. One thing I do really like about these so far is they have the adjustable bicep protection that goes up and down like most do, which I basically immediately pull it to its lowest setting. I'm 6'3", so that's pretty good in the sense of I need more protection down the arms. It's good foam up here. It's actually a soft foam. It feels really good. And the thing I really like is actually this piece right here, which Velcros. It can Velcro up and down depending on what you want for protection. I pulled it all the way down, and with this, it almost overlaps with my elbow pads perfectly. And that way, there's like no gaps between my elbow pads and my forearm. And I think that's a really, really, really good feature, and I really like that. One thing I was kind of surprised about actually with the elbow pads is there's no adjustability in this piece right here to raise these up or down, which I've seen my other ones do, the EQ50s have it. But with this piece right here, it actually doesn't need it, because that at its only setting is perfectly covered by bringing this piece down. And the other thing I really like about this is this strap is actually it's very tight to the point where I only have to connect it here. Normally I'd have to wrap it around. Like the Warrior ones are so loose that there's no point me attaching them basically. I like how these straps aren't too long. I think CCM did a really good job on that. Just flipping it over quickly, you have again more hard hard foam protection back where you get slash, which is good. Again, right along the spine as well. Same triangle material here. And again, I will dive into this a little more in the future. Again, D3O in the caps, which is really nice. I do like this stuff. I really wish it was on other things so I could test it more, but at the time being, shoulders are good. This is the interior of the biceps, which it's made of a softer foam than this, and again, good. Got foam caps, and the chest protector itself looks very high end, and so far everything looks really good. I think this looks like a really supreme unit. Some of the reviews I've done of products before that are pro products don't look it. I feel these chest protector looks really good in that regards. Now we'll get to the shin pads. And shin pads are something I'm kind of always worried about. I've gone through, I think I've cracked 3 pairs so far in about 5 years, and I think that is because I block shots. I'll block anything. I'm a goalie. I was born and raised a goalie, so I am not really afraid of pucks, and I've gone through kneecaps before. I've shattered and dented the plastic parts here. I'm happy to say this seems like the biggest and most protective pad I've ever seen. I like some of the features it has on it, like this piece right here, which is for the top of the knee, is the biggest I've seen on any shin pad I've owned, which is nice because I do get pucks up here. And again, it's small, but it's really nice that it's there, and you can remove it so if you don't like it. The other thing I really like is the protection on the outside of the pad is very substantial. Again, you got these triangle material, but this piece especially has a really thick foam on the inside, which you can't see, it's just black liner, that I get pucks on the side a lot because of just me skating around and being big and people trying to shoot through me. These are going to be extremely helpful. Again, you have that hard foam here, but because of its size, it actually feels much softer than it does on the elbow pads and the chest protector. I'm really happy that this is there, and I'm looking forward to really using these. And you have a nice thick piece for your outside knee. For the cap itself, you have the molded cap. I don't know much to say there. The front of this thing looks awesome, is all I can say. You have like a carbon fiber looking design on the front, and you have this nice textured design all on the sides. Now this thing looks like the amount of money you pay for it. This thing looks top of the line. I kind of wish the elbow pads incorporated more of this design because it looks so cool. And again, you have the nice triangular padding up on the knee for even more protection. And so one thing, again, I have always had issues with for protective gear is the straps. These straps in every shin pad I've ever worn have never been able to pull tight enough. Even I had to buy shorter ones in hopes of keeping my knee in place. Even with tape, I always had issues. So far, when trying these out on my legs, this has been great. The amount of elasticity in this strap is enough that you can pull on it, but not enough where it makes it too long. It's really, really good length, and I'm really happy that CCM did there. The other thing I'm really thrilled about is this wrap lock, which I'm seeing more manufacturers do. And it has a nice padded, like thicker padded area for your bare legs, so you don't have to worry about it catching on anything or cutting off circulation. And what it does, it just wraps all the way around the front. Now, I'm pretty sure this will eliminate the need of tape completely. Everyone, like most shin pads I've had, I could never make the strap tight enough around my leg because they're usually attached here and you pull it in, and nothing would get tight enough. It was a real pain. And this solves that issue completely because you can just keep wrapping it and it'll just go all the way, and that's what you need to keep it tight. And so we go on the inside. Sorry about all this Velcro. So the inside liner, removable, I'm not gonna rip it out because it's a liner. Nice thick foam, like pretty thick foams here from what most pads have. Nice segmented in here with a nice like dry, stay dry material on the inside. I didn't look up the marketing stuff for this, sorry. If you want to, check their website out. But the inside looks really good. It kind of looks basic compared to other brands, like the EQ50s I have silicone in here for grip. I don't think that's necessary at all. I think this does a good job, and it's really protective and thick in how it is. And again, you have your D3O protection right in there. Sorry about the lighting. And it's all on the knee. And so when you fall down, you're actually falling on that foam. Again, you have your knee donut. So yeah, so far the knee pads look great, and I'm extremely looking forward to using these and the gear. And again, thank you CCM and Mod Squad and JR for giving me the opportunity to try these out. I will put them through their paces and I'll report back. But again, check in the description for the link to the Mod Squad page, which will have all the written part of it. And oh, one more thing, the bottom protection right here for your skate, very thick, very good, and it has this nice rubber, foam piece over top to protect the top of your skate and from pucks denting or just hitting in there. Again, feels like a very, very high-end shin. Couldn't find any threads really out of place on this, or the chest. The only issue I had was the small issue on the elbow pad. Everything else is great. So thank you very much, and again, check out my channel for more reviews, and hopefully this was informative.